Hi, this is Chico Resch. You are listening to the Let's Go Devils podcast on the Primetime Radio Network.
Happy Devils Thursday. This is Game Day Live, coming to you live from American Whiskey and the Primetime Radio Studios in Chicago, Illinois, where Vinnie Parise resides. That Vinnie Parise at pucksandpitchforks.com. And filling in for Sam Wu, the one and only Shorts guy of the Let's Go Devils podcast. Take it away, guys.
Hello, everyone. Happy Devils Thursday to you. It is Game Day Live. My name is Vinnie Parise. I'm here with Shorts Guy. Shorts Guy, how you doing, man?
Vinnie, I'm doing great. We're in the back. We're on the back end of a back-to-back. Got a big win last night. We're back home tonight against the Blues. The street is packed outside. The bar is packed here at American Whiskey. And I'm just excited to be here for another Devils game day.
Absolutely. So you touched on it. They won that game last night against the Detroit Red Wings. They didn't just win it. They really took it to the Detroit Red Wings, beating them by a final score of 5-1, and they got contributions from everyone. The fourth line chipped in. You got Alexander Holt scoring a goal and chipping in an assist. Miles Wood finally wasn't invisible on the score sheet for a long time. Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier. It was everyone. Even Vitek Vanacek. He gave up the late goal. I was a little annoyed that they couldn't get him the shutout. It was tough. Yeah, that was tough that they couldn't get him the shutout, but it was a great game overall. What did you make of the game that they finally were able to not only beat a team, they've gotten a couple wins since the losing streak, whatever. They really took it to a pretty good team for the first time in a while.
To me, it was finally a complete game from the Devils. From start to finish, complete game. They got scoring, like you said, from all over the team. Vanacek played a huge game for us. I was so disappointed that he could not get that shutout. I've been in that situation that he was in. You got 2 minutes left. You don't want your teammates to screw up in front of you. Whatever, it is what it is. It's still a 5-1 victory. It's just, they looked like this team that we saw a month and a half ago, and the team that we've been looking to come back for a while. It's like, where the hell has this team been? Well, it came back last night in Detroit. I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. We were talking in a group chat last night that the streak started with the win against Detroit. We had a big win against Detroit last night in Detroit. I was amazed, though, last night at the stat that the Devils are so much better on the road than at home. And last night kind of proved that, just showed what a 5-1 victory. I was happy with it. I was really happy with last night. It felt like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, it really did. It was one of those types of games where it's like, it's New Jersey Devils hockey. You're getting it from the top guys. The depth guys are producing, getting good goaltending. The defensemen are chipping in. Severson had an assist. Dougie Hamilton went 1-1. It was just an outstanding game. Now you turn around tonight and you play a team that, in my opinion, they're lower in the standings than the Detroit Red Wings. The St. Louis Blues, they've been struggling a little bit lately. Every single one of their players appears to be on the trade block. It's a very interesting time for the St. Louis Blues. What do the Devils need to do to make it a back-to-back win here tonight?
Just do what they did last night. Come out with the same attitude. Come out with the same presence on the ice, and just play a complete game tonight. Everything from the net on out. Just play a complete game. Get that scoring, that spread out scoring from everywhere. Draw the penalties like Jack and Nico were doing last night. That was another big thing, drawing penalties and taking opportunity of those, taking those opportunities and capitalizing. But just a complete game, front to back. From puck drop to the final whistle, and I think we can get 2 wins in the back-to-back.
33 total drawn penalties between Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier combined so far this season, and they've only committed 3 total penalties between the two of them together. Just absolutely an unbelievable ratio, these two guys. I expected that from Nico Hischier when he was first drafted. I wasn't necessarily thinking that Jack Hughes could be that type of draw lots of penalties but never take a penalty type of player. I mean, these are two guys who have just been so outstanding in that area. And then another wrinkle to tonight's game tonight is the fact that because it's the second half of a back-to-back, they are not going to go back to Vitek Vanacek. It actually sounds like they have called up Akira Schmid, who is going to be the guy right now as Mackenzie Blackwood is out for precautionary reasons. What's your takeaway from that?
I saw that announcement today that Schmid was back up. You know what? Part of me wonders if maybe this is a precautionary because there's a trade in the works. That was my first thought, and I know we've spoken about that before. But we've seen what Schmid can do, and we all have. I want to say we all have trust in him because of the play he's had in the past. I have no problem with him in net. If he can step in and beat this Blues team, hey, I'm all for it. I just want a Devils victory tonight, and I want good goaltending because, well, as a goalie, that's the main thing that I want to see in any game for the Devils.
Absolutely. And in order to win a game in the NHL, I mean, this sounds so cliche. It's like, duh. But if you don't get great goaltending, you're not going to win most nights. And Sam and I were talking about, like, a lot of the recent Stanley Cup champions don't have, like, that elite guy, that Shesterkin, or, I mean, Vasilevsky's won 2 of the last 3, which he's really kind of a unicorn. But as long as the Devils get good enough goaltending to supplement what they're doing as a team with speed and creativity and, all that sorts of stuff, they're going to win lots of games, and we've seen that so far this year. As you mentioned, if they play that kind of game tonight against the St. Louis Blues, they should be able to take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. The Blues are down on their luck. The Blues have injuries to some key guys. Who the hell knows what version of Binnington we might see tonight if he plays. We could see the Binnington that won the Stanley Cup, or we can see the Binnington that is willing to challenge the entire Devils roster to a one-on-one fisticuffs one at a time. So who the hell knows? I would actually love to see Binnington play tonight. Maybe we'll see him challenge the team to a fight. Maybe we'll see him do some trash talking. Who knows? However, this is an opportunity, and the guys and I were talking on the podcast on Sunday night with the games this week. Last night and tonight, these are the must-get points. These are the must-win games because Saturday, regardless of where we are in the standings, Saturday is going to be a big game. It's going to be a tough game. It's a rivalry game. We got last night. We have to get tonight. We have to take these points from the Blues out of conference. They're not doing well. We have to capitalize.
Yes, I have the St. Louis Blues projected lineup right here in front of me. It is going to be, according to their official website, Jordan Binnington in net tonight for them. I'm looking at their group here. Their top 6 is awesome, right? They got Buchnevich and Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Brandon Saad, Braden Shen, and Ivan Barbashev. That's a really nice top 6. A lot of teams would win with a top 6 like that, but they are noticeably missing Ryan O'Reilly and Vladimir Tarasenko. Their bottom 6 is very tough. The only kind of most notable name in their bottom 6 is Noel Acciari, scored some goals. Their defense is weird. No Torrey Krug. They're going to be missing him for a while. Obviously, we remember the days of Alex Pietrangelo leading the way on the back end. He's been with Vegas for a couple of years now. So it's basically just Parayko and Falk, kind of as like those top D-men, legit top 4 guys. And like you said, I'm excited to see a Jack Hughes, a Nico Hischier kind of dance around them tonight. If they play their game the way that they should, they're beating this team.
They should, but we've also seen the Devils play down to teams recently. And one of the things that my hope is the coaching staff has spoken to him about between last night and today is just to go out and just do exactly what you did last night. That's all they have to do. It's just that simple. Come out tonight, do what you did last night, and you'll get the same result. And that's it. That's all that we want. That's all that we want from this team.
Yeah, I completely agree. So you get into a game like this, and a lot of the times these games can be won through the special teams, right? So, a team like the St. Louis Blues, they're putting out a good power play unit. There's no doubt that they're going to throw out a good power. You take lots of penalties against them, that's how they're going to score their goals. If you play a good, clean game, kind of like they did yesterday against Detroit, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on that.
We have to capitalize on the special teams whenever we get that opportunity because we've had some failed opportunities in the past with the power plays and not capitalizing. So just if you get the man-up opportunity, take it and capitalize. I mean, we saw Dougie Hamilton score within, 5 seconds, 10 seconds last night on the power play?
Yep.
That's what you got to do. Now, is that going to happen every power play? No. But as long as you're moving the puck around, and I'll tell you from experience, being in net when you're down a man and the puck's moving left, right, it's exhausting. So you're going to want to move that puck, make sure you got that puck movement, and find that good, clean shot, and then fight for it in front of the net. And that's what we have to do. We have to capitalize. And with that stat last night of penalties drawn versus taken with Nico and Jack, we've got 2 slithery players that we should be able to at least draw at least 1 or 2 tonight. And if that's the case, you really have to capitalize.
And for the last couple weeks, we've seen Andre Palat make his way back through practicing and playing well and all sorts of stuff like that. He is in the lineup tonight for the New Jersey Devils for the first time since long before their winning streak started. Really, they kind of played a couple games. They lost most of the games he was in because they weren't playing well as a team. He's hurt. He's out for a while. He's been skating. They can definitely use his presence back. He brings leadership. He's won 2 of the last 3 Stanley Cups. He brings chemistry with guys like Nico Hischier, Jesper Bratt, whatever line he ends up playing on tonight. We have yet to find out through warm-ups what the line rushes are looking like. We don't know who's going to come out in place of him. I assume you would think it'd be someone like Alexander Holtz, who's been in the lineup for a while, but he scored a goal and had an assist yesterday. So it's hard to predict who's going to come out tonight for him, but Andre Palat is back.
Absolutely. And it's funny you say that about, about 4 minutes ago. I got Schwim from Hockey on Tap, who's a Lightning fan, who just texted me that Palat is back. Palat is one of his favorite players. I'm happy to have him back. I feel like we're starting to get these pieces back that we had before the slide. Bring these pieces back, get this team going again, and get our winning ways back. And you know what? Let's just solidify our place in the standings so that we can look forward to, that playoff position, but just to right the ship and to consistently have it going. So I think Palat coming back will do that. And I read something earlier that the Bastion is nearing a return. Not quite there yet. He's skating, but not with the team. But that's, fingers crossed, that's another positive sign too.
And so you got Graves back a lot earlier. At least for me, it was earlier than I expected. And Palat, it's not earlier than expected. It just feels like it went quickly because they did a lot of winning during the time that he was out. When he went out, I was like, oh, no, this is trouble. Like, you spent all that money on him. You need a guy like Andre Palat in your lineup. They haven't really missed a beat other than that little weird stretch they had mid-December there. But, he's coming back. You're going to get Nathan Baster back. Marino is hopefully back sooner than we expect. This Devils team, they're not in as bad a spot as people made it seem like when they were in a little bit of a funk there. They're 6th in the entire NHL. They're 2nd in the Metropolitan Division with games in hand on just about everybody closing in behind them. They have a 5-point lead. No, that's a 6-point lead over the playoff spot. And, I just think they're in a lot better spot than people make, especially with the injuries starting to come back into the fold.
Yeah, but you want to know what? You can't take that for granted. You still have to be pushing for that playoff spot. A 6-point lead, that's really only 3 games swing. This Saturday is going to be a big one because that's really kind of like a 4-point swing with a divisional rival. And we're going to have some of them on the back end, which could bite us. So I'd rather build up our points now and have more of a cushion come March than not. But it's, again, I know it's only January, but you have to start thinking, let's make sure we build up this cushion now in case we go through another slide, which I hope we don't, but I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah, a young team like the Devils, there's going to be ebbs and flows, right? There's going to be stretches where they win lots of games in a row and everyone's feeling confident and good about themselves, and then they lose 6 in a row. Like, eventually you hope they get to a point where they're like the Boston Bruins, who they're in first place in the NHL right now. They haven't had a 10-game win streak. The Bruins never went on a 10-game heater. I don't even think they've ever gone on an 8 or 9-game heater so far this year, but they have not lost 2 games in a row. And I think you would much rather have that more type of consistency than a team that might win 10 in a row but then lose 4 in a row, lose 6 in a row, whatever it is. It's always about ebbs and flows when you're a young team, but hopefully they're able to keep on keeping on.
Yeah, that's the hope that, it's. I just want to win. I just want the Devils to win tonight, and that's really all that matters to me. I'm sorry I kind of missed what you were saying. We're trying to do some technical stuff here on our end, but let's just win tonight.
Yes, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Now, one more thing I wanted to get your opinion on before we get to our predictions portion. The World Juniors, they've been going on. Luke Hughes was named one of the 3 best players for Team USA after they were defeated in the semifinal yesterday against the Canadians. We've seen Simon Nemec have a great tournament with Team Slovakia. He kind of dragged them along out of group play and had a good showing against Canada. They lost in overtime in their quarterfinal game. What's your whole takeaway from the Devils' point of view on this World Junior Championships?
You know what? If these players are getting valuable experience in a tournament type situation, which is basically what the playoffs are. It's a tournament. So those are going to be our big name players going forward. I want them to have that type of experience in those tight positions, those must-win games. And as much as I would have loved to have seen Team USA do so much better, they didn't. I have some issues with some of those no goal calls. You know, some of that, even as a goalie, some of that's not goalie interference. Some of that is just going hard to the net, and when you're fighting for the puck, it is what it is. Goalie interference is when you're definitely impeding a goalie from making the save. Some of that is just net front presence, and that's just what happens in the front of the net. I would have loved to have seen the U.S. win the gold, but a bronze is still top three. At least it's not a losing. At least you did not lose to get a bronze. You won a bronze. I'd rather win a bronze than lose to get a silver.
Yeah, they definitely won their final game of the tournament. They'll be feeling better than whoever loses today's game between Canada and Czechia. I do agree with you on the goaltender interference stuff, right? Like, it's hockey. Those would be goals in the NHL, but it's a rule problem in IIHF. According to the rules, which we all know they have some completely different rules than what we see in the NHL. According to the rules, those weren't goals. I think it's more of good call, bad rule than it is bad call, and that's a shame because it kind of screwed over the team. Yeah, and it screwed over the team we were cheering for not only the fact that they have the Devils' #1 prospect, it's also the country we hail from.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken at that point, because unfortunately my backwoods cable doesn't have NHL Network anymore, if I'm not mistaken, that would have made that game a 3-3 game, which at that point, that game is completely different. That game's completely different if you're tied 3-3 versus being 3-2 with a goal taken away, and then having another goal taken away. It sucked, but hey, that's kind of what happens in tournament play. Sometimes you get that stuff called against you, and it sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it definitely does suck. You're right. It would have made it a 3-3 game, and when the goal was called off, the Canadians got the puck and took it down and made it 4-2 just a couple minutes later. That probably doesn't happen if the U.S. gains some momentum from, the game there. So I loved the tournament. I thought it was a lot of fun to watch. The Devils prospects were impressive. We have Peter Hauser in the championship game against Canada playing for Czech. Hopefully he's able to make an impact. That would certainly be interesting to see. But, the Devils, they got their own problems tonight against the St. Louis Blues, and I think it's time we get into our predictions. Shorts guy, what do you think is going to happen in the game tonight?
All right, so I'm going to make a prediction. Devils tonight, I'll say 3-1 victory. And the Devils walk out of here with the second half of the 4 points that they needed from this week. So 3-1.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to take the Devils to win this game in a little bit bigger fashion. They steamrolled Detroit last night, right? And I think Detroit is much better, much deeper, faster, more youth, more exuberant than the St. Louis Blues. I'm expecting the Devils to come in tonight, even though it's the second half of a back-to-back, at least early on. Try to put them away as early as you can because the team playing on the second half of a back-to-back always struggles a lot more in the third period, I would say, because that's when you start getting into trouble. But I definitely think they're going to take this game. I'm looking at a final score of 6-2.
6-2. Wow. See, now I've gone big the last couple games, but I'm going a little bit conservative tonight for this one. So I'm sticking with my 3-1.
I like that. And go ahead.
And I want to see Jordan Binnington challenge at least 3/4 of the Devils team to a fight.
I would love to see Binnington do that. I also would like to see, I'm very curious how they handle Andre Palat and see if he can get in there and play well. Go out there. I don't know about score a goal or anything like that, but go out there, feel the puck a little bit, and make the impact that he was brought in for a fair amount of money to do so.
Yeah, I just want to see Palat be back on the ice, make his way back. If tonight's a good game for Palat to come back to, because of it should be. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves. It should be an easier game for him to come back to tonight against the Rangers. It should be a good game to come back and kind of get his skates under him again, get back into the flow of playing at game speed, and then be ready and good to go for Saturday against the Rangers. Because everyone here at the bar at American Whiskey knows the truest statement in the world is that the Rangers suck.
Yes, the Rangers suck, and there would be no better way for the Devils to go into playing the Rangers, who the last time they played them was at Madison Square Garden, when the Devils, they went up 2-0, and then they allowed the Rangers to, score a goal. The Devils made it 3-1. Then in the third period, the Devils kind of blew it and allowed the Rangers to tie it.
It was that penalty shot. It was that penalty shot.
Yep, Jack Hughes penalty shot. He had Shesterkin down. He got too cute at the end. Yep. And I don't know if penalty messed him up in that situation too, because it looks like he tried to shoot in the shootout a couple nights ago, and it's like, I don't know. Sometimes you do got to deke and make a move before you make your shot, but over time I think he'll find that balance.
It's that tendency now to go really wide to the outside and then come in kind of slow, and you kind of lose your momentum. I get it. It's harder for the goaltenders if you're going slow, but when you're going that wide, they only shovel so much of that ice, and the rest is dirty ice. So you're going to get caught up. However, I don't know if you saw, Vinny, we do have a prediction from Sam for tonight's game. Sam has predicted a 5-2 Devils victory. So the three of us are predicting Devils victories. You at 6-1, Sam at 5-2, I'm at 3-1. I'm more conservative tonight. You're far to the other side, and Sam is kind of there with you.
Yeah, I mean, I hope all three of us are right in any way, shape, or form. As long as the Devils have a W next to their name and they advance from 51 standings points to 53 standings points, that's all I care about at the end of the day. And we do also have an update on Andre Palat. He's skating on the top line with Nico Hischier and Jesper Bratt. Tomas Tatar moves down to Eric Halla and Jack Hughes' second line.
Just throw them right out there. You know what? If they see in practice things that we don't see, so if they believe he's up there for the top, to play in the top line, throw him out there, bring him back, let's go.
There's a chance that Andre Palat could have been ready to play last game, 7-8 minutes, and instead of doing that, they held him out and said, okay, but in the next game, you're Andre Palat. You're a two-time Stanley Cup champion, knows how to play on a top six role on a team that has championship pedigree. I mean, Andre Palat's done it all. He played on the triplets line. That was a third line in 2015 when they went to the Stanley Cup final and lost. And then, he played top six role playing with Tampa Bay, winning 2 cups and losing a cup to Colorado. So there's plenty of experience that comes with a guy like that.
Palat's a winner. Palat knows how to win. That's the best part. And he's a professional. He's going to come in. He's going to do what he has to do for this team. And I really do not worry about him coming in. If they think he's fit enough and ready to be on that top line, throw him out there on that top line.
Yep, there's no better way to kind of assert yourself back into a team where you've become important, I would say. It didn't take long for Andre Palat to be one of the 5 most important players in the organization. Hopefully they run with it and he stays healthy the rest of the season because they need him.
Absolutely. And you know what? I'm happy to have him back.
So am I.
All right, guys. It's time to go. I'll be there a little bit later at American Whiskey for Devils After Dark. And I want to thank all those tuning in at the bar at American Whiskey. Sorry for the technical difficulties. We're trying to flush out some of the bugs, but Shorts Guy did a great job being the tech geek that he is behind the scenes.
I did everything tonight, Sam.
Yeah, you did everything. I think you're going to enjoy your night tonight as the Devils take on the St. Louis Blues. Thank you to all those on YouTube Live, Facebook Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch. We'll be back later tonight. Scotty S. XM, Liquid Metal, and I will recap the game that was. I'm going to hit the music right now, and so long, everybody. Till next time, this is Game Day Live. Let's go, Devils.